All Christians are called to share their faith, to go and make disciples. But for many, it's easier said than done. Many Christians feel powerless to help people know Jesus. During a recent Facebook Live event, Indigitous discussed the barriers to sharing your faith and how to overcome them.
People feel awkward about sharing the gospel. Maybe they're not used to it. There's this sense of like, I don't know, that this is what I believe, but we have this sense of like, I need to be tolerant of what they believe, or maybe they would not like me to impose my beliefs on them, and they fear rejection. I think that's a common sense about sharing your faith and sharing the gospel. The gospel is a gift, and people don't have it. And so the fear of rejection for giving someone a gift, I think, should not exist. And if it's rejected, it's probably because it's not understood.
I think one that I know creeps into my heart is that I forget what Jesus has done for me, or I fail to see how that is making a difference in my life. And so when I don't live in light of that, it doesn't make me motivated to share with others, or I don't see that difference in my life. And so then I just sort of everything like bleeds together, versus like when I can see and experience God's work in my life, and that despite all my shortcomings, despite my anger and getting upset at my kids and thinking bad thoughts about colleagues or whatever it is, that Jesus has come to redeem me and intersect all of that, and he loves me for who I am, and that I can be forgiven of my sin. That, I think, changes my outlook. So I think a lot of Christians often don't live in the light of that reality of all the goodness and grace that God has given to us. And so that makes it hard to feel like you can be a powerful witness.
How do you see Indigitous helping to address these barriers?
We want to offer resources that are really practical, really easy first steps that someone can take to share their faith, to take that step of faith themselves and put themselves out there and offer this message of the gospel to others. So resources and tools, things that have been developed out of the community, out of those hackathon events, out of partner organizations and ministries that are trying to solve the same problem. And the other thing is a community, a fellowship of believers, a group of people who want to do this mission with you, to encourage you, to champion you, to make digital missions a normal part of life. I think those are the two things that we want to provide that will help overcome these barriers.
Indigitous comes from the fusion of two words, indigenous and digital. And so our heart is that there would be this indigenous presence, a relevant gospel witness all around the world. There are relevant people trusting the Lord to make an impact in their city and in their community, in those places. And so they can inspire and motivate and train and equip with sort of best in class tools, training, vision. And so that's really our vision.
I would love to hear from you an example of how getting equipped to reach people through digital means had an effect on your life, and how God has used you to interact with people and share his love with them.
One of the tools that I've been using recently is an app called MissionHub. And what I love about MissionHub is that it gives me simple next steps to do with people in my sphere of influence. And I've been trying to get to know different people at my condo. And I sometimes feel frustrated, or like our worlds are just kind of like so different, and it doesn't seem like there's common ground. And the Lord has just really impressed on me in the last season that I need to be consistent in praying for the friends in my life, especially the men in my life. And so I've put all my friends into MissionHub, and MissionHub sort of says like, who do you want to reach out to? What's their name? Where are they at? And so I fill that in. And then it gives you some suggestions on what you can do. And one of the steps is pray. And in one sense, I feel like, man, I have no idea where to start with any of these guys. But the Lord is just impressing on me that, like, but you can pray. And so I've also been trying to grow my muscles and habits in prayer. And so Tuesday mornings, I try to get up before dawn and pray. And so I just like walk around the local park with my MissionHub app and just praying what MissionHub tells me to pray for these guys. That's one of the things that God has been using in my life to help me reach out to people and realize that there's probably no one else in most of these guys' lives that is praying for them. And that's sort of my privilege and my call. And as I do that, trusting that the Lord will bring opportunities. There's a pool at our condo. And so the other day I was just sitting in the pool with one of the guys, and he was sort of saying he does this AI stuff and he has a PhD in machine learning. And but he's like, yeah, but I have everything, but I'm not like super happy in life. And so it's like, oh, I see the Lord starting to open up opportunities that hopefully he'll use.
It's not some big complicated thing like, oh, I have to share the gospel with everyone in the whole world. It's like, no. You need to share the gospel with the one or two people who God has put on your heart, who you want to have a relationship with, who you want to share the gospel with, who you wouldn't have shared the gospel with or had the opportunity to share the gospel with otherwise. And so an example for me, like I love video games and I was playing video games, and there was a guy who we were in the same clan for like 2.5 years, just casual, idle chit chat. And we gradually built a relationship. And one time he said to me, he said, "What is life all about?" He's like, I'm in a trade school. Like, what am I doing? There's no satisfaction. I don't understand why I'm going through the motions of like getting a career. Do I buy a house? Like, I don't know what to do. And he would never have asked me that question if I hadn't been just intentional about building a friendship. And so I just want to say digital missions is not something that's difficult or challenging or overly complex. It's about making friends with people online and being prepared to share the gospel with them when the opportunity arises. It's about establishing a relationship and building that trust so that you can effectively have the opportunity to speak into their lives. And so just having that mindset, I think, will help make it seem less threatening. And like, we're not asking you to do something crazy. We just want you to have friends online who don't know Jesus and then share Jesus with them.